Don't jump off the roof, they gonna kill they damn.
Are we live? We live.
But that's okay.
He meant it. I mean, he meant what he said. He said what he meant. So you know what? Everybody tune in. Mickey gonna have to share. Welcome to a special edition of the Wyntis Hall Show. I'm live here with Councilman Eric Mayss. Is in his house.
I'm on a special edition.
Special edition, because you are the special edition.
Miller, you want to be on the special edition? You were Flint Northern 76. Why I can't have my classmates from class?
You can have your classmates out here if you want to. You can have your classmates.
Come on, Miller. Y'all know, and we know 76 and Flint. We know Mr. James Miller. Miller, come on, join us, man. Let's talk
Mickey,
politics.
can you tag it to my page? Because you know, since I'm in jail, I can't.
Come on, join. Wyntis, is it all right for me to bring my?
Yeah, bring your friend. Come on, man. Come on. You know what? This is what.
He been in Tennessee.
This is what I like about Councilman Mayss, because he give everybody a chance.
Yes.
What's your name, sir? Mr. James.
Miller Jones.
Man, you look like you're in an interrogation room. It's okay.
See, there it go.
We ain't about to ask you no questions.
Yeah. You know everything. He been in Tennessee, North Carolina. He know more about Flint sometimes than I do. I had to.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think so. On. Now you see, this morning when I was putting together the thing for the little commercial, the one that I sent you, did you get a chance to see it playing with that? So that's when I called you to ask you, what year is this? Because this guy in my office I work with, Robert. What's up, Robert?
2023.
No, I know. You acting like I'm inebriated. I'm talking about that picture with Jesse Jackson.
Oh, in 1988, he was running for president.
And that was Casey Kasem up there.
That is correct. You
didn't tell me that.
Who was up there with us? You might not could have seen her, but what's her name? She used to be on the show. Dang, what's her name? She was there too. She was traveling with us back there. And so I was representing 9,600 laid-off workers. Now, if the 810 Media Group was like Ricky Smiley, you could flash that picture up there.
Mickey, he calling you out, Mickey. We gonna look. We got some equipment. We got some equipment. You see the big TV. No, we can't flash.
810, that's our area code.
810 right? News Media Group.
810.
Shout out to the greatest producer in the world.
Can we give a shout out to the class of 76?
Yes. Shout out to Northern class of 1976. Mr. James over here. Look, that's the year I was born. 1976 was a good year.
It ain't just 76, it goes 74, 75, 77, 76. We can holler out. We can shout out. Who could we have a shout out to? Hollywood now.
Yeah. Bucky crew.
The Bucky crew. All right, y'all. Listen, we had to come on today and do a special edition since I didn't get a chance to use my points, my privilege motions the other day when my name was called, and Mr. Mayss got put out the meeting the other day. So we're gonna have to continue our meeting as a pre-meeting for tomorrow's meeting. Yeah, what's tomorrow's meeting?
I've seen you in that meeting. I went home and watched it. I've seen you run a tape with Malcolm X, and that tape was tough. You could hear it pretty good. Talking about the house Negro and the field Negro. And then one of the Negroes on the council must have took it personally. Once y'all sit down and the people start talking, one of them started defending themselves that they wasn't the house Negro. That was Quincy Murphy. I'm tripping. I go home and watch some of these meetings. I'm looking at what's happening. I looked at the public speaking, and I'm knowing that, Liddell Lewis needs to be fired, recalled. She don't need to chair another meeting.
Not at all.
When I looked at the tape, she gave Jerry Winfrey Carter her first warning because Jerry Winfrey Carter seconded
I second his appeal while you're looking at me.
Now, who gets a warning and get threw out of a meeting, Miller, for saying I second the appeal while you're looking at me?
She was nervous. Because she didn't start the meeting 30 minutes late. Even Murphy said, why we so late with this meeting?
I spoke up and said, why we ain't starting this meeting? Yeah. If you notice, when I spoke up, within 2-3 minutes, the meeting started.
Absolutely, it did.
I say, man, this is a funny thing. Millie, you know the video. Yeah. Wyntis them ain't seen that. I ain't posted it yet. They don't know about the Shady Bunch.
The Shady Bunch. Oh no, I ain't seen the Shady Bunch. Look, everybody share while you up there. Yeah. Everybody has put me in Facebook sharing jail, so I can't share.
Shady Bunch.
I can't share, so I want to see the Shady Bunch because this may be the people that put me in Facebook sharing jail. I didn't know it was such a thing. The Shady Bunch.
I can't take credit for this video, but I like it. And if I like something,
it's funny.
Here's the story of a city called Flint, whose city council could use an overhaul. There are some people who were elected who should fear recall. Erkin Roeder,
they got the picture.
Inexperienced and unfit to serve as council president. Then Liddell Lewis, suspicious address. Is she a Flint resident?
Oh, look!
Dennis Piper, boy, what a coward. He won't intervene to break up a fight. By Eva Worthing, whose poor attendance is a shameful sight. And then old Judy Gunn packing Priestley.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
A meeting to go home and grab her gun. And Quincy Murphy yells at the public, ain't city council fun. And then finally, city attorney, who goes by the name of William Kim. He lacks the knowledge to maintain order. Current outlook's grim. Until one day came this hard-working fellow.
Hey!
Rules of order, he could eat them all for lunch. With resolutions and points of order. Eric Mayss will help vote out this shady bunch. The
Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. That's the
way. Mayss will help vote out
the Shady Bunch. All right, Eric Mayss will help vote out the Shady Bunch. You heard it here first. The Shady Bunch on 810 News Media Group.
They heard the music and the lyrics, and then we gonna post it because there's some video that go with it.
Yeah, I seen it. I was looking at the
Shady Bunch.
The Shady Bunch.
Ain't that something? Why would they start a meeting that way? I got second morning and throughout for trying to use 5 minutes to explain to the people about the ARPA fund.
We know why they did that.
Out of order. Point of order, Councilman Mayss, you're not germane. You can't talk to these people about the ARPA funds. I'm like, point of order.
I got two questions. The first one is a statement. I knew why they was trying to throw you out because they said they thought the crowd was going to follow him. That's politics 101. But the crowd wasn't there for Mayss. They was there for their money. Okay, now
they didn't think that when I got wrongfully threw out, the crowd was gonna leave.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, come on now.
They didn't know the crowd was gonna show back up from Saturday.
No, they didn't.
And then intensified. I mean,
Saturday. And didn't show up. And the crowd came on Monday.
But I knew they wasn't gonna show up on Saturday. You had a lot of people show up, so I said let's build on that because you knew they was gonna come Monday.
That's correct.
So you was pushing Saturday, I was pushing Monday. You told them people on Saturday come back Monday. I had people coming on Monday, and boom, there we go.
And then when they seen those people, they was nervous as a cat.
Yes, they were.
I thought it was really disappointing and wrong for Liddell Lewis and even them to keep threatening them people.
Yes.
I mean,
I had to ask Officer Metcalf to walk me to my car. He had to walk me out.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You ain't doing like them 3 white women.
No, I ain't thinking about them. That's Quincy Murphy called my name about 27 times. You didn't see that part? And for Wyntis Whore, I want to respond to her and that video that she played about I ain't no handkerchief head Negro.
When I watched the tape, I seen them appeal the ruling not to warn Quincy Murphy for being argumentative with you as it relates to you playing that tape. I seen you say, I said I wasn't going to say nothing, and I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to let the tape speak.
Absolutely.
When they, who was that, Malcolm X?
Malcolm X.
When he spoke about the field Negroes and the house Negroes, that must have hit a nerve with Quincy and Liddell.
Pastor say a hit dog will holler.
I thought it was something when somebody in the audience or somebody said something on the council. Liddell was warning and throwing people out the meeting recklessly and wrongfully. And somebody said, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, you got a lot of nerve in you to MF'd and cussed the preacher out.
Yeah, not once, but twice.
I say people finding out about her.
Yes. Yeah.
I felt bad for Pastor Thompson when he told me what she had said and did. My attorneys say Liddell Lewis must act like that because it's stressing her out, trying to juggle and run back and forth from Baltimore.
You got some good attorneys because they was sitting behind me. They was taking notes, and then they had people taking notes. They gave me the card, when Quincy called my name 327 times. The Lento Law Group.
That's correct.
And they said, do they not realize that these meetings are taped? I said, I guess not.
They must don't.
Because they say some stuff like, but when Tanya said point of order.
Talk about the Apple Bunch. Why they had to get me out of there so quick?
Because Judy told us why. She said at the end, she said, listen, hold up, everyone, hold up. The money was not The money was not sent to you. It wasn't sent to you. It was sent to the government. The money is not for you. We're going to give that to people that's going to help you. But the money is not for you. It's for the government. And then she said, whoever told you that June 1st deadline, get it out of your head, because I'm speaking as a conservative. It's no way that the Senate is going to pick this up. Boop, news break. GOP and president in talks with taking back COVID relief funds.
Judy Priestley sits on the Genesee County Executive Board Republican Committee. Judy Priestley is on the Executive Committee of the Genesee County Republican Party. Judy Priestley, her political philosophy is different from mine and most other Democrats in the city of Flint. Why Quincy Murphy, Liddell Lewis, I know why Herkin wrote it and Viper them do. That's the Republican persuasion.
Right.
Even though city council are nonpartisan positions, you have to look through that and you have to understand who the Democrats and the Republicans are. And so I don't know if Liddell Lewis and Quincy Murphy realize that they're running with the conservatives.
Absolutely.
The Republicans, Judy Priestley, them. I know Priestley and Herkin wrote in them, and Worthing is glad that they had two Negroes who could put them in power, elevate them over us, and give them positions of president, finance chair, governmental operations. These folks is going home, talking to their family and friends, just happy and ecstatic. I'm the president of the Flint City Council.
Yes.
I'm the finance chair.
I get to walk into the mayor's office. I get to eat popcorn. I get to go into his snack room. Yeah.
Well, the mayor can't be left out of the equation because him and Attorney Kim is coaching them. All you have to do is go back and look at the record where Attorney Kim told them that they could deliberate and communicate outside of a meeting. The Open Meetings Act does not allow for people to deliberate and communicate city business outside of a meeting. 2 people can do it, but when it gets to 3, 4, and 5, it's illegal based upon our charter and the rules. And they having a ball. And so Jerry Winfrey Carter, Miss Burns is catching on fast.
She sure is.
Myself.
They whooped her
Me
when she was chairing. What was she chairing?
I had appointed her finance committee chair when I was president.
Yeah.
They didn't respect her.
They
wouldn't
whooped
show
her,
up
but
to
they
meetings.
whipped her into shape though.
Yeah, you live and learn.
Yep.
Y'all done been whooped into shape. You was with me.
Oh, shit.
Against Weaver.
Oh,
Y'all the
shit.
one helped got it messed up.
Listen,
Miss
I
Wyntis.
thought we left that shit alone now,
No,
Mayss. Now
no.
come on now. You gotta let by. Well, you the one help Dennis Pfeiffer get in there if you want to talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, you won't talk about it no more.
So we can all make political
Right.
mistakes. I helped Pfeiffer get in there.
And that was one of my questions. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I've been stabbed in the back, the neck, the front, the side, and that's a good point.
But his brother been on Facebook this week telling him, wake up, Dennis.
Who?
Don been telling Dennis.
Man,
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
I'm just gonna
I'm
tell
just
you,
saying, he's telling me.
you can be in politics as long as me.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in politics as long as you. You have to admit that when Neely beat Weaver by 200 votes, you and some folks was wrong for helping.
Absolutely, I admit it. I admit it. My fault.
I have to admit that when I helped Pfeiffer and Priestley,
you helped Priestley too.
Yeah, we went over there and knocked doors for Priestley against
Kate Fields.
Against Kate Fields, it was me and Mr. Gilchrist and the high rises over on Center and Richfield Road.
Mm-hmm.
These council votes was won by 40, 50, 75 votes. And we went and helped some folks because we was trying to get Griggs and Kate Fields and some of them out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be in politics as long as me, you, Woodrow Stanley, or anybody. And it's going to be people who fool you.
Now, do you think
tricksters now?
Absolutely. Now, now, I have made this statement to Mickey the other day when we was me and Mickey strategize every day. Do you think that if Kate Fields was still there, do you think that she might not let them get their hands on this money the way they've been doing it?
I don't think no politician, Kate Fields, Quincy Murphy, Liddell Lewis,
I know they can hear.
I don't think no politician is going to be able to try to stop folks from getting this money. If they do, they foolish. Because probably in the next 2-3 weeks when these recall petitions get filed and the heat is on them, if they vote against giving the people these monies, I think they're going to be voting themselves right out of office.
Well, that's good because a few of them, they got recalls coming. I didn't see the paperwork. They got recalls coming for a whole lot of them.
Be in an election this summer.
Yes, it is.
And I don't think that they can fix it.
I don't think so. I think
it's time for 2 or 3 of them to go.
It is.
If you got Winfrey Carter, Miss Burns, and myself, that's 3.
Right.
And you got 5 of them acting a fool. If recalls are put on 5 of them and we win 2 of them, then we got the city back where we need to be. And so, they can rely on Neely, Reilly, Seeley, and Beeley, but they're going to be relying on their demise. That's what happened with Kate Fields and Maurice Davis. Now, Neely tricked him.
Yes.
He tricked him just like he tricked y'all about he had a bachelor's degree. That joke ain't been more had no bachelor's degree than the man in the moon.
He ain't got as much as I got. Ain't that something? You got a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, but I'm not going to trick you and say I got a master's or a PhD.
Why lie about something that small? If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Don Williamson said he was a felon. Yeah. And he was truthful. Yeah. And this one right here, he want to be somebody.
But that ain't just the only deception in the lie and the deceit. Even though I knew him for 20 or 30 years, because my dad was the pastor at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. He baptized Neely when he was small and married him when he got grown. I was in church with him, been in church with him for 30 years,
That's
but
what you said.
in politics, I didn't know he would deceive and lie. It kind of hurt me when he issued that press release against me with Murdoch.
Right.
You know, I knew Murdoch. Miller, you know that alcohol can make folks act a fool.
Must be the Hennessy.
Jumped and did on me, and Neely issued that press release. I knew then he was a liar and a deceiver.
I still didn't see it at that point. Like,
Yeah,
I was
still
starting to
didn't
see
see
through the
it.
cracks, but it was like you didn't want to believe it. And I said,
Want me to keep going? He got 3, 4 major deceits when he came in
I want to
office.
hear him.
When he came in office and told the public that he had found $20 million. Man, do you know we had to got rid of a $12 million deficit, and me and Weaver and them had created that $20 million.
He made me look like a fool when I went to meet with her that day to apologize to her.
To
Mayor Weaver. And I sat down and I said, you know, can I ask you some questions? And she said, sure. She said she didn't have nothing to hide. Ask me what you want. I said, did you really lose $20 million? I thought she wanted to call me a couple names.
I'm gonna give you another one.
And she said, matter of fact, she said she didn't tell anybody. She said, but she wrote a letter to you. She gave you a copy, and a couple more people. She gave a copy of that letter because she said she knew it was gonna come up.
Hey, remember this? When he was running for office, he said that Weaver was making too much money, and that when he become mayor, he wouldn't take that $125,000 salary. And that Weaver was making too much money.
He said it.
Now, how long he been in office?
He been in office since November 2019. It was a dark month. He ain't gonna get that money back. He stood up at it's a Latinas. I think it's Latinas or some type of restaurant over there on Davidson.
Mickey, I could keep going.
Oh, listening device.
Yeah, you say.
I remember that. You cracking up?
I be laughing because the public don't know.
Oh, that's
the
Jamaica.
Public don't know.
The
public don't be knowing when people be telling the truth or lying. Remember, they lied on me. They say I was going the wrong way on 475 with 4 flats.
It was just 3.
It wasn't no 4 flats. It wasn't but 3. So the point I'm trying to make is you don't know who telling the truth and who lying. You know, I got arrested in council meeting because I got up out of my seat. I asked to be excused. I got up. I went to the bathroom among a couple things. And when I come back and sit in my seat, I got arrested in court under oath. Herkenwerder swore under oath that she didn't excuse me out of my seat, and the video showed different.
Ooh.
Now, Mickey having a ball reading these comments.
Yeah, because you didn't got Jamaica started. Jamaica said, had me saying that she stole the office furniture. Look, Jamaica, you were supposed to leave that in the past, too. You and Mayss coming here just bringing up all of this old stuff.
So, Wyntis, you said that Jamaica stole the office furniture?
Man.
You was up under the spell. Remember, Miller, who was that Blue Magic? They made a song. Must have put a spell on my mind. Trouble sleeping. I must have put a spell on my mind. That's Blue Magic. And so that's what some politicians do. In this case, Neely had a spell on him. And look, it tripped me out because I was a little scary. That little guy. Nah, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can be mad. But
hey, man,
he's
the biggest liar I ever seen.
We used to watch the cartoons. We watched George Jetson them. the Flintstones, the Jackson 5 had a cartoon.
They sure did. I forgot about that.
I used to get up early to see it, but it was another one I watched. Y'all might not have watched, but it was called Johnny Quest. You remember Johnny?
I don't remember no Johnny Quest. No.
Johnny
Me and Mickey the same age.
You remember Mickey? Johnny Quest had a sidekick called Haji, and Johnny Quest and Haji, but it was these people they used to deal with, and they were some gargoyles. When I seen that gargoyle, and I seen that guy who they alleged was messing with these little kids.
Yeah.
That was Neely.
Yeah, that just hurt my whole stomach.
I stayed away from him because he reminded me of one of them gargoyles. And so on Johnny Quest. So when the news broke, I was in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, a weekend or two ago. When I come back, I could believe it. We'll see how it play out, because he was one of Neely's closest confidants. What was his name? They say he was harassing or
Johnny Peters, a.k.a. Johnny Cole. He went to Judge Godola and got his name changed to John Cole. He used to be Johnny Peters.
So that's a true story.
Yes, sir.
That guy who was his confidant, driving them trucks.
He drove that burgundy Ford first, didn't he? And then he got that white truck.
Man.
Now we know some stuff. We just would shut the TV down if me and Mayss got to talk.
I'm concerned about a couple more close confidants. My lawyers, they was they do a lot of technology stuff. They got lawyers that specialize in some everything: appeals, technology, entertainment contracts. Because I got a call
Haji
from
had the turban on.
Yeah, Haji did have the turban on. But I got a call from some folks in Indian guy. Haji. And so I got a call from these folks in California, and they got a contract for me right now to do one of them court shows.
Oh,
now, y'all
really?
trip out if you seen me.
You gonna be like the judge?
Yeah.
Oh, shit! Now
can I be the bailiff then?
No, I want to go in there first. Let me sue you.
Hating when I'm
I ain't hating. I'm just trying to jump in front of the line.
Yeah, be tripping out if they seen me on a court TV show like Judge Judy, whatever.
Well, you can take that outfit you had on that one.
Steve Harvey judge.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, Eric?
So my lawyer's looking over that now, but the reason I started talking about it, because it's a set of lawyers for me for entertainment, it's some for technology. They put my name in the phone or on the computer, and they put ericmayss.com. And guess who popped up?
You?
No. That's Sherrod Piggy's guy.
That's what he do. He goes around and he buys everybody's name. Okay. He probably didn't buy my name, Mickey's name. He will buy. Well, he ain't buy. I think Mickey said he owned all of his stuff.
I did,
but he buys them up. And so when you grow, like he'll go buy James.com and you make it big, you gotta pay him to get your name back, because he did that to Lovedale Cemetery.
Yeah, we ain't paid nothing. I'm saying to myself, now that ain't me. That's one of Neely's folks.
It's the same thing with that Eric Mayss Uncut. That ain't you.
No. There's so many Eric Mayss pages out there. Man, I'm just glad I know the real Eric Mayss. I don't have to look at the pages.
If we Googled, me and my attorneys, and I Googled it after we looked at it. If you put Eric Mayss t-shirts in the phone, there's a bunch of them pop up with my picture.
But that was pissing me off, because everybody was getting your money.
That's okay. I say let the children play.
He did. That's what he told us when he was up here the last time. He was like, y'all gone.
I didn't have nothing to do with putting all that on TikTok, all these shirts. They got Eric Mayss for president. Somebody came back from Jamaica. It was Councilman Mayss. I seen them wearing your Point of Order shirts in Jamaica. Now, my attorneys are setting up a official Eric Mayss website. They're looking at having T-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, or whatever. They say they think they might can get me up to where I'm monetizing my TikTok, I'm monetizing.
Good,
Instagram,
good,
I'm
Eric.
monetizing.
Good.
YouTube, and
Good.
then my website. They
Good.
say if I listen to them and they can help me, in 24 months, they might have me where I can get a Rolls Royce because that's what kind of car that I
You can get us. You can make good six figures.
But they say if they can't get me to that point, they'll just get me a Rolls Royce from the junkyard.
You gonna park? He gonna see his Rolls Royce parked over there on Russell Street. Listen, I do got some things I want to talk about. So, the other day when we was in council and I paid the Malcolm X, I wasn't trying to be messy. It's the truth. You got house Negroes and you got field Negroes, and I tell people all the time.
Piss Liddell and Quincy off. I don't be trying to be naive with me.
Hush. This is a show.
Oh.
Okay, so I wasn't trying to irritate anyone when I played the video.
I wasn't trying to irritate them. If that's true, I wasn't trying to irritate them when I called them handkerchief head Negroes.
But you was just speaking the truth. But what I caught is when Quincy said, well, it's only a couple of us on here. And this white guy at work today told me, he said, he didn't understand that. He said, because it's 5 African Americans on the council. The council is majority black.
That's correct.
So it's like, what are you talking? Do he not realize he black? Or he don't think y'all black? Like somebody he don't understand is black.
Well, if you look at the history, Quincy Murphy, before he was on the council, he used to stand at the microphone
every meeting,
and he used to say, if Councilman Mayss talked to my mother and sister like he talked to Kate Fields and Eva Worth, then it'll be something.
Yes.
And I used to respond by saying, I hope your mother and sister don't talk to me like Kate Fields and Eva Worth talk. Did he realize Kate Fields had given me the finger? They had called me narcissistic, boop, boop, and all that. I hope your mother and sister don't talk. So I think he's a little confused in more ways than one. And so I think it's some jealousy or envy there when it comes to me or something, because I had not really did nothing to him. If you go back and look at the tapes when he first won, he was calling me a disgrace, saying we couldn't get business done. I had did more business with Weaver and them and others before he got there, business I done forgot about. Looking at the statute to declare the emergency, getting the deficit to a surplus, all kind of stuff. And this guy had the nerve to say in the first month or two that I was a disgrace. And I'm this type of person. If I remain quiet while Quincy Murphy, Liddell Lewis, or anybody attack me politically, I'm the fool.
Right.
You attack me once, I'm not like Michelle Obama. When they go low, I don't go high.
Right.
I'm going to talk about you, your goldfish, your dog.
Yeah. You said when they go low, I go to hell.
I mean, because it's crazy. And now all of a sudden, you done teamed up with the white folks and gave them president, finance chair, and now all of a sudden, we need to work together as a group. Y'all done dogged me out.
Right, now you want to work
together. Wouldn't show up for the finance committee meetings with Tanya. I wish the public, we all need to work together.
We only go to meetings on meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays. Other Mondays and every other Wednesdays.
Well, I think they think we're food. What's
your question?
What you just said. That they think who can do multi-million-dollar deals can do it in 3 hours.
You can't do multi-million-dollar municipal business in 2-3 hours, particularly if you don't know. And if you're trying to do it, then try to do it fairly. If you go back and look at the history when I was president, the first thing I would do when the meeting started, I would say I entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Yeah.
And we can act with common courtesy and respect. And the first 2-3 months went well. If you look at that 3rd or 4th month, I said, I'd like to entertain a motion to suspend the rules. They voted no. And ever since they've been trying to live up to them rules, they've been screwing them up because they don't know the history of the rules.
No.
Those rules was enacted by Kate Fields and them
Against
me.
you. And he learned them better than they did. They put a rule in there said when a point of order is called, all talking must cease. They forgot. And he said, according to the rules that y'all put in,
you should be removed.
Yeah.
For still talking.
And you made her leave.
I'll leave on my own. I don't need you to make me leave.
They don't leave on their own. They apply the rules discriminatorily.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you'll see Liddell Lewis and
that's a whole subject.
Priestley and them.
Gonna work.
They'll be chairing a meeting. Eva will get up, stand up with her hand on her hip, standing all over Tanya like she finna throw down and fight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get a warning.
Nothing. Don't get
nothing.
Nothing.
Even tell her to sit down. They scared to break up that group of voting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can sit in my seat. I can say, point of order. You're out of order.
Yep. The first order of business is to get rid of Eric Mayss.
I say point of information. You're misusing point of information. That's not a point of. I ain't even said nothing yet.
Well, that was my second question. What the hell was your second warning about the other day?
Because I put a motion on the floor for an agenda change. And my motion was to allow me 5 minutes to explain to the people how the procedure works, what they can talk about when, as it relates to our performance.
Right.
Jerry or Tanya, somebody second my motion.
Jerry seconded.
For that 5-minute discussion.
Or somebody, I can't remember.
Now you got a motion properly second.
Okay.
She calling for the vote. I say point of order. You got to have discussion on the motion. No, you don't. I appeal the ruling of the chair. Jerry or Tanya second the appeal. As I'm arguing the appeal, I say, now I want people to be able to talk. Point of order. You're not being germane. The motion had to do with me explaining to the people there what they could talk, how they can talk. How me talking about to the people what they can do when they, how is that not germane to my motion? I got a second warning for not being relevant.
Yeah, and I was right there in the front row and didn't get it.
It's recorded.
I didn't get it.
My attorneys from New Jersey and Philadelphia.
They got it.
They didn't get it.
Oh, they was taking so many. They was back there. Like, was 2 of them back here and it was 2 of them over there.
Get sued. My grandmama said certain folks don't believe fat meat is grease.
Yeah, they did.
And so that's the
saying
problem.
Now.
They think that they can vote in a group of 5 or 6, right or wrong, to violate the rules and apply them discriminatory. That's my point. If Eva, Quincy, Liddell and them say something out the way, Liddell stood up at Tanya. I don't know why they think they can stand up at Tanya.
Right.
I mean, Quincy
because
stood
they know
up
Tanya
behind me.
Not Tanya, Councilwoman Burns, because she gave me that great respect the other day. Thank you, Councilwoman Burns, and thank you, Councilwoman Winfrey Carter, for having this black woman's back. I appreciate you too.
Well, why is it that they think they can apply the rules discriminatorily and different toward folks? That's
because that's their personal. They putting personal feelings over.
No, let's just call it spade what a spade is.
What you think, Mickey? Why they do?
Them are some handkerchief head Negroes.
Well, yeah, they are.
Well, it is.
They are.
They are. Up to them folks.
Who gonna throw them away when they done with them?
In order to try to have a position. Think about it. Liddell wants to be vice president so bad. She sell her soul to get the vote of Worthing, Priestley, Hergenrode, and Piper and them. Don't sell your soul out for a position.
Right.
I've been on the council for 10 years. I wouldn't mind being president, vice, finance chair, but I'm going to be a councilman.
That vote still going to weigh. It's just as much. Right.
Still going to carry a lot of weight.
Absolutely.
I don't have to sell my morals and principle and race out to have a position. Think about it. Why, if you got 5 blacks and 4 whites on the
sir.
council.
There you go. Break it down
and
for
it
them.
ain't no way those 4 whites could be president, finance chair, head of governmental operations. These are key positions. Why would you sell yourself out? Why wouldn't you tell them, oh no, I'm going to be the president.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Quincy's going to be the finance chair. These the power play positions.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you sell yourself out and give them the key positions and hurt the people you represent?
Right.
If I'm a politic and give up some, I'm going to look out for myself first.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell them, no, I'm going to be the president. This going to be the finance
But not if you're
chair.
a handkerchief head.
Not if you're a handkerchief. You're not even going to vote for your own self.
Boss, we sick.
We sick. Boss, we sick. That's what the handkerchief do.
And so I can't excuse that. Now, if those folks were voting in our best interest, it would be different. But look at what happened. We gave the Miller Road project $2.1 million.
When the first time and the second time?
When I was president.
Okay.
I made sure we did that. I wanted to show the white folks on the white side of town.
Right.
We'll give
I
you
know
something.
what you was trying to do.
I turned right around a week or 2 later and tried to get the North Flint Food Market on
600,000.
Road, 600,000-700,000. The white folks wouldn't give us the votes.
Well,
and Liddell and Quincy and them had something to do with it.
That store is taking a long time
it's
to
not
open.
an even trade-off. That store and supermarket should have been open.
It should have.
The St. Agnes property. What do y'all call it? I call it the St. Agnes property.
Oh, the house of Queen Esther.
The House of Esther.
Yeah, House of Esther.
You couldn't get them to move on that.
But you know why?
There's 12 people living in houses that they should have the deeds to. You can't get them to move on that. So it only took me 4, 5, 6 months to see that the white folks on the council was nitpicking and scrutinizing and wouldn't vote for some of the black projects. And Mickey, you're right. The 2 handkerchief head Negroes wouldn't vote with me, Winfrey Carter, and Tanya to give us the 5 votes that we needed. And so that's problematic.
It is.
You know, they done been there over a year now. It don't take me 2 and 3 years to beg and try to find out who's who. Give me 4, 5, 6 months. Look at their voting patterns. Look how they talk out their mouth.
Absolutely.
Look how they apply the rules differently and discriminatorily towards certain folks. And I know who's who. With all of the business that can come across our table, millions of dollars, ARPA funds, we doing the budget right now, and you can't get them to do it right.
What's that meeting about tomorrow?
The community is bad. People calling me, they want cameras in their neighborhood.
Yes.
Neely fooled them about speed bumps.
Oh, he put them back down, but they coming apart now in the streets.
You know how much money it would cost to put speed bumps on Piper, Russell, Cherry Line,
Home Avenue, right there by Hasselbring. That's all them people over there on Glen, Edwards.
Woodline.
They just wanted. They said they be doing 80 and 90 up Home Avenue in DuPont.
Again, by placing 5 or 6 down in the El Dorado Street area.
Yep, he did. Because he did. He did.
It cost millions.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have speed bumps across the city, but then cameras, we can allocate money for cameras.
Oh, is it? One of our viewers just said it's a speed bump right in front of his house.
Who?
One of our viewers said it's a speed bump right in front of his house. Neely house. Mr. James over there cracking up. Like, I mean, of course, so that camera can catch who, you know, you got to slow down so the camera can catch it. He can see who them ride past his house. Don't ride past his house. I'm just letting y'all know.
I'm so tired of certain politicians fooling people and fooling the public. And a lot of the public ain't fooled.
No.
And there's a lot of folks that are. and different people have different issues.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a meeting the other night where I wanted the focus to be on helping pop loose these ARPA funds, but other people had different issues.
Yes.
And then in a civilized community, you know, people are like I was 3-4 months ago. They hoping that these folks act right.
Mm-hmm.
They hoping. I'm past that. I've already hoped and tried to
And
get
prayed
them
and
act
did all of
right
that, right?
for 6 months to a year. It just ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm past the hope now. Now we got to try to fix it. And I think the only way, there's 2, 3, 4 ways people can put pressure on
Yes,
folks.
people got to continuously show up at those meetings.
You can take it in the court. We're doing that. You can recall some folks.
We're doing that.
Or the Ethics and Accountability Board have to step up and get empowered. But what threw me off about the Ethics and Accountability Board, I done fought to get them a budget.
Now they don't know what to do.
And got it passed. It was for lawyers. It was for subpoenas. And the money just sit there.
Because they don't know what to do.
I say, now the Ethics and Accountability Board got subpoena power, got
and won't even use it.
Force folks to give them the money. So it's all about the people. Whether you're on the council, whether you're on the Ethics and Accountability Board, whether you got good lawyers, if you ain't got the right people to push, and it shouldn't take all that, then you ain't gonna get it done. I think we putting together the right team now, and I think it's gonna be some positive change.
This is called point of order. Point of information.
Miller, run that keyboard and set him over.
What's your point?
He raising his hand.
He don't come in front of the camera.
No, I got a question. No, I got a question for you though.
Who we think he is, Tom Joyner?
Better believe it.
I ain't never seen that like he raising his hand.
Eric, but it's the intrigue of who I am that's going. It's just they don't know.
Man, I know your folks from Beach.
Don't tell you gonna tell all his business.
Yeah, I know Rick Jordan there, man. Yeah, I know Rick Jordan there. I'm come out of Beach with Brian Rise or Ricky Jordan and all them. Beecher, Mount Morris, Northern.
The question I was gonna ask.
No,
I'm trying to get off my family.
No, we want to hear him
the
answer.
Question I was
point of order.
Well, point of order then. Point of order. The question is, the point of order I want to know, how can we make the far as Liddell, the elephant in the room?
Okay.
Far as Liddell, her registering the run for council.
Dang. Okay. Well, you busted on. So, what do you think about? Is some information that's came up online this week about Liddell not being a registered voter? It's a charter violation. She should. She just shouldn't be in that seat. She signed, what do you call that, affidavit or whatever you got to sign when you go to run, and they said that she signed it under false pretenses because she didn't do it right. So this is it right here, this voter registration.
Yeah.
And
let me answer it this way.
Okay.
In the old days, before they changed the charter and messed up some stuff, it's a lot messed up in the city charter. You only had to be a registered voter in that area for 30 days.
Okay.
But what I'm hearing now is you have to be a registered voter in that area a year prior.
Yeah.
And so if we look and find out on the records that she was not a registered voter a year earlier in that area on Winona Street, then she done signed a false
6/25/2020.
Say what?
Registered to vote in Genesee County. Registration date 6/25/2020.
Yeah, and it would take research to see if you have to be registered a year before you sign up to run, a year when you win, and all of those researches. But I'm hearing a little murmur that some people say that could disqualify her and folk can ask for her.
Well, that's what it said here. That's one of the Pfeiffer boys said.
It wouldn't bother me at all.
It wouldn't bother me either.
But this is also a concern, and they get mad when I bring it up. Quincy Murphy, Liddell, Herkenroad, and them, they had illegal literature mailed out on their behalf. If you look back at that campaign,
Now, how do you? People are going to say, "How do you know? Are you making a false statement? How do you know that the literature mailed out was illegal? How do you know it didn't come from?"
I'll tell you 2 or 3 ways I know.
Mm-hmm.
One, when we went over to the jail, when Quincy told the inmates he was a self-proclaimed dope dealer and that they could be a council person too.
Well, that was a motivational
I
speech.
talked to Herkenroder and Quincy and them. They say they didn't know where the literature came from. Quincy called in. It was a point where we had call in because of COVID.
Okay.
And people could do public comment by calling in.
Yes, Lord. We went through that
Quincy
for 2
is
years.
recorded calling in, say he didn't know where the literature come from.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you can look at their campaign finance reports. That's on permanent file. If they didn't have a in-kind contribution for mailing or didn't put mailings on their campaign finance statements, Herkenroder, Murphy, Liddell, then that confirms they didn't know about it or they didn't report it. That's illegal activity. When you do a mailing, it's going to run you about at least maybe $1,200 an award.
Okay.
These literatures that was mailed out had these little men on it, like they was working. Some of the men was red, yellow, blue, and so all of those. Watch this. Watch the camera, y'all. See Miller. Look at Miller. Miller just walked past. But look, they had all these men on it, red, yellow, blue. The literature was the same.
Mm-hmm.
The literature mailed out on Quincy Murphy's behalf looked just like the literature that was mailed out on Herkenroder's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like the literature that was mailed out on Liddell's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
We got copies of that literature.
Right.
I kept them because if you look at all the literature that was the same, the only difference was their picture.
Uh-huh.
So that's the proof. And you've got them saying they didn't know where the literature came from.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy trace the literature in its origin. They said that it came from the same print company in Detroit.
That Slorsky
where
and Skwinsky?
Neely's literature came
I know what that is.
Yeah, so people who won, such as Quincy, Herkenroder, I think, beat Galloway by 75 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Liddell was running against Sister Audrey Muhammad. And then Quincy and Dumas. Dumas had beat Quincy in the primary. But this illegal literature, the mailings, if you ever run for council, look, there go Miller walking across.
Lord, if you don't sit down, you don't have to cuss that camera. Sit down.
If you run
sit down.
campaign for council, and you can raise the money to do yard signs, literature, mailings, radio ads, or TV, you've done a good campaign. Mm-hmm. But if you can only raise the money for a few yard signs, knock doors, pass out literature, that's a good campaign, but it ain't a good a campaign as mailings, radio, TV. So when somebody mail out in a city council race, that's a major contribution.
Right.
And you can only contribute so much to each campaign.
Absolutely.
So if Neely mailed out, for one, or whoever mailed out, and they did not report it on their campaign finance statement,
Swanson's
then
coming.
I say, why do people keep asking me, can I prove it? Yeah, we got copies of the literature that was mailed out. The public know it was mailed out to them. It ain't nowhere on the campaign finance statement. So it was some illegal activity in mailings that helped them win by 40 or 50 votes. And if they're beholden to Neely or whoever else mailed it out, that's why the city is messed up. If you get in there illegally, Maybe that's why you act funny and illegal now.
Right.
So I'm convinced,
They are,
you kill me today or tomorrow, and I'm gonna die knowing, not guessing, that 3 or 4 of them got in there with them illegal activities.
And I'm sure they was coached. You know how I know? When you got up there that day and said, why I want to put her on the board? She's staying Grand Blanc. He told me, he said, just put your mama address down there. I said, no. I said, because I don't want to.
Oh, you talking about when we
on the Bishop Airport, on the Bishop Airport board. I said, no, I'm not gonna put my mama name on address. He told me right there in the address, because you gotta fill out a piece of paper. He said, just put your mama address down there.
That's why he driving that illegal car and using the city gas.
And I knew that could come back to haunt me if I ever wanted to fulfill my political career. Or even if I didn't, just being in the public eye, they're going to find something.
If you had 5 of the right council persons, some of the stuff he doing would already been haunted him. But see, he got them bought hook, line, and sinker, so they won't investigate, they won't raise the issue. And if you try to raise it, they'll throw you out of a meeting.
Yep.
If I was illegal and wrong, do you think they'd have been and got me by now?
Oh, yeah. If they could find something, they would have. He probably would send that helicopter. Mayss, where the helicopter at? Didn't y'all buy a helicopter last year?
We put money up for the use of a helicopter.
You seen it?
I don't know what's up with the funding for the helicopter.
Body cameras for the police?
Yeah. I've seen some body cams on a couple police.
Okay. Yeah. Now, have you heard about them condemning houses with blue tarps on it?
I've heard them condemning certain properties. I got a call with a resident or two concerned about their house being condemned, about code standards. That's what make it so bad about these opera.
That's what I'm saying. What can we do? How can we help you get the money into the hands of the people? I don't want it to go to your nonprofit where you're going to take $50,000 off the top for administrative fees, and then it's only going to be $5,000 left for me to serve 2 people, but they ain't going to qualify because they make over $5 a month.
Well, we're doing what we can do to try to get the money in the hands of the people. For example, remember when I created a 1-page form that people could fill out in city council office, and I got that vote passed, and then 2-3 months later, Priestley, Liddell, and others start telling people, don't fill it out. It wasn't a real form. They misled some people.
Yes, they did.
And I feel bad for those people because 700 people put in the form anyway. And those 700 people are being contacted. They're in the loop. I had a friend of mine call me this morning and said they said that wasn't a real form. I didn't fill it out. Can you open back up the process?
Wow.
Now, Saturday and Monday I was attempting to open back up the process where folks can put in for it. So we're doing what we can do. The people, some of them have showed up now to speak up.
Well, we got to keep coming back.
To do. I hate to wear people down.
But I mean, people want their money, man.
That's correct. And the only way to get it is with 5 council votes. That's who allocates the money. It has nothing to do
Call your
with
council person, blow their phone up.
And
their phone up.
And so that's the only thing we can do is try to get the 5 votes. These 700 people who put in the 1-page form that they're saying that they're processing, we're watching that and we're trying to see what they're telling people. If they tell you something wrong, call and let me know what they're telling you. That 700 people was $7.6 million worth. I wanted to get up to 15 or 20 million. So it needed to be opened back up where some more people can put in for that home improvement category. We have other categories of money that we can.
They're saying that they still can't hear you.
As deep.
It gotta be their phone.
As deep as my voice is and as loud.
Oh Lord, okay. All of this noise in the studio, that's confusing me, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I don't listen to what all folks say, because they was telling people
got two phones now. Look at you.
Yeah, they was telling people don't put in. That ain't a real form. Now people want in. The people who put in want to be contacted. And so it's a juggling act. I'm doing the best I can and will continue to do the best I can to make sure that residents get between 8 and 20 million of those dollars.
Right.
I'm not going to keep giving it to the land bank.
That's right. That's
uptown
true.
And this town.
Give it to some black folks on this side of town.
That's correct.
Now, Tony Wiggins said, wait a minute. Tony Wiggins said, where is, and I'm going to read it just like he typed it in. Where is the damn forms at now?
This majority of city council voted to stop taking them.
So what is the 12 people that's on this illegal committee doing? Just getting paid for nothing?
Neely appointed 12 people to scrutinize the paperwork and make recommendations.
Right.
Under the charter, Neely can't appoint 3 people.
Well, we already know one is a follower, one is a
people is the city council. If he wanted 12 people, he should bring them to the council and get them appointed.
Because it's an illegal multi-member board.
So you got 12 people thinking they really on a legal board. It's another lie, another deception.
But they getting paid, so they don't care.
I don't know if they getting paid or volunteer.
They getting paid from the community foundation.
And guess who's supposed to check that and hold them accountable?
Who?
For one, the city council. But you got the foolish 5.
Sensational 6. They just let one of y'all vote with y'all sometimes.
Sensational.
What you gonna call the shady 6?
The shady bunch.
The shady bunch. That's what we gonna call them. The shady bunch. And their new name shall be.
And they just letting that go. And then the Ethics and Accountability Board can subpoena them 12 or Neely them and hold them accountable, or somebody can file in court. You shouldn't have to go through these type of steps in order to get people to live up to the rules.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have to worry about Neely tricking and fooling people like April Cook, them, and people who want to help the city. Do they really know that they're being used on an illegal committee?
They don't care if you're getting paid.
That's what's frustrating with me. You think they're getting paid?
It said it. It said that these members will be paid by the community foundation.
For what?
For serving on this committee.
The ARPA funds.
And it's that board is a rotating 6-month board.
Illegal.
So in 6 months, you're gonna get 12 new people who gonna come on there and get paid.
They participating and advising in any capacity about city business under the charter. They're called a multi-member body. Look up the definition of multi-member body in the charter. It's going to be one or more persons acting in an advisory capacity. Then go back to the back of the charter and look at how a multi-member body is appointed, and it's going to show you that the council appoints.
I got to ask this question. This is for my mama. My mama want to know, hey, mama, can or will the council allocate $11.6 million of the ARPA money for the Cedar Street water project, also fix Pearson Road and Susan Street out of that money? Because they got grass coming up in.
What's your mom's name?
Miss Marshall.
Miss Marshall?
Yeah.
Miss Marshall, I can't predict whether or not they'll let me say 3 sentences before I'm ruled out of order and threw out of a meeting. I'm not going to even venture to say what the majority of council will do.
What's the Cedar Street project about? Mom, you're going to have to help me on that one.
During the Weaver administration, we had millions of dollars come in, and it could be used for the Cedar Street pump station, among other water infrastructure projects, to upgrade them, bring them to par. money could even be used to build a whole new water plant.
Okay.
I was kind of on the side of building
A new water
plant and hooking to the KWA. It was a lot of tension in deciding when that money went. And so I know, if I'm not mistaken, that we allocated money for the Cedar Street station. This council, different mayors changed stuff. And so that's why I said to Ms. Marshall, I wouldn't venture to say what these people will do or not do in or out of order.
Okay. I got another question. As president, well, wait a minute before I read this question. Did you know that they dropped Howard Croft's charges yesterday? He was the last one.
Yeah, I've seen that on the news. He was one of the last ones.
Yeah. So it's like nobody nobody gonna be held accountable.
And Gretchen Whitman and them messed that up.
Yes.
You know, when Todd Flood and them had spent all that money,
I had him
went
here.
through
He told me about it.
preliminary examinations, got stuff bound over, ready to be bound over. And Dana Nessel and Whitman them came in and dropped all that and started over. Remember who endorsed Whitman was Snyder.
Yeah, wasn't that
you
crazy?
You gotta understand the politics.
He was at her inauguration party.
You gotta know the players who was pulling strings and getting favors done politically. There's some Republicans and some Democrats who got in the bed together and some strange things happened.
Speaking of getting in the bed together.
Oh, man.
Well, let me read this question before we get in the bed together. Now, as president of the Flint chapter.
I'm too old.
I know you read books and you read the books. I'm not getting. Wait a minute.
I used to.
As president of the Flint chapter of the National Action Network, this is from my brother Tony Wiggins. Has the administration reached out to you for dialogue?
No, but we're going to reach out
to them
and have some dialogue. Okay. I am in the last 30 to 60 days, I am the president of the Flint chapter of the National Action Network. We had to get our charter members, 25. We had to put our executive board together. They asked me to be the president. I accepted. All our paperwork is in. Right now, I'm looking at the first issue or issues that we'll come out on. When we come out on our first issues, we want it to be big. Okay. I had a lady call me from the Bentley school area, and her son was handcuffed and taken away in an alleged bomb threat. And he was black. And then she went to the interrogation room with him. And as they was questioning him, they arrested her for obstruction.
What?
The charges, according to her, has been dropped against him, but not against her. He wasn't the one. And so I'm looking at issues like that. I'm even looking at the council as it relates to how they're doing the president of the National Action Network and the residents as it relates to ARPA funds. I'm trying to lead the Flint chapter in a way that when we come out,
coming out strong.
It's going to be big.
Okay.
And when we come out, we're going to be precisionally tuned on an issue or two. And so we'll see what I do. Some of the council members didn't have a clue.
Right.
We had somebody here from our national affiliate at this last council meeting.
Right.
Lori Parks, she spoke. And she kind of informed them who I was and what position
she did. She went up there and was like, he is the president of the Flint chapter of the National Action Network. Al Sharpton watching this meeting.
Know it. We can make calls and bring in our Detroit chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We can make calls and
who's very strong. I did check into that. Yeah.
And Crump them and that type of thing. But just like we don't want to waste the people's time coming to council meetings, if I'm the president, I want to move with precision, preciseness. and I don't want to waste folks' time.
But I don't think
And
it's
when
wasting time, Mayss. If
when
they
I come out on an issue, I want it to be strong
absolutely.
and accurate.
Well, Councilman Mayss, I wouldn't say you wasting the people's time, because they need to be engaged, they need to be involved, they need to get down there and see for themselves, so they won't have to have Facebook knowledge or secondhand information or none of that. They got to see the real big picture of the day.
But what I mean by wasting their time is, it was a resolution on the agenda to open back up the process and to allocate these monies. It was a resolution.
That's the one Miss Stanley was talking about, and you
That
was
is
talking about,
correct.
and that's
I
why
was
they put
waiting
you
to
out.
speak on it. They intentionally and wrongfully put me out to keep
Yep.
that
Okay,
from
now
happening.
it
So
makes
that's
sense.
what I mean by wasting folks' time.
Mm-hmm.
We poised to do business, inform them. Go back and look at the tape. When I put the motion on the floor to talk to the people for 5 minutes, just like I talked to them Saturday, we had a good meeting when them other folks wasn't there.
Right.
I was given a second warning and technically removed because I had asked for 5 minutes to talk to the people. Where do they do that at?
Flint, Michigan. I'm serious. That's where
And so
they
that's
do it
what
at.
I mean by wasting folks' time.
Right.
Nowhere in my wildest councilman dreams would I believe that Liddell Lewis or any other council person would give me a second warning for putting a motion on the floor to try to attempt to talk to the people. Now, for those who don't believe me, go back and look at the tape.
Right.
Was you there, Mickey?
That was it.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, I do.
For those who doubt what I'm saying,
Go back.
go back and look at the tape.
Yeah.
You don't get put out of a meeting for putting a motion on the floor to talk to the people, and then when you attempt to explain it or talk to the people, you're not relevant.
Right.
You're not germane. You're out of order for attempting to say something to the people, and that's what the motion was. So what's happening here is unreal, and I can assure you, we looking at it.
That's good.
Looking at it not just
I'm
with a
glad.
council hat on, but we looking at it with the National Action Network hat on. And I was on the interview today with the New York Post. Now, the New York Post, this is the second time in 2-3 weeks they've called me. This is what they're telling me. This Tuesday coming up,
Santos going to jail.
Y'all help me watch this. What?
Santos. No, Sheldon Santos nearly going to jail. That's what New York
No.
telling you.
Evidently, they've been watching the council meetings. They've been looking at TikTok, the New York Post. And the editors and publishers is fixing to look like do a story in the New York Post, unless this reporter was fooling me.
No,
and I think
somebody called me from Australia.
Tuesday is when it's going to come out. So
Good.
I told them
See,
to send me a copy of the New York Post when it come out and call me and call it to my attention. But based upon the way the interview went, I'm very interested in this article. So y'all keep an eye on Tuesday's edition coming up Tuesday of the New York Post, and let's see what they say about this Flint City Council. And I know, seemed like they talked to me. I'm hearing they might have talked to Herkenroder, and I'm hearing that they might have talked to Worthy.
Oh, shit.
But
Well,
I
that
don't
one out of
think
three is
that
good.
they buying into them folks being victims.
Man, Allie's friend came up there. You missed it. Her friend came up there.
Seen
You
it
seen
when
that?
I reviewed the
And
tape.
I know you watch them tapes like you watch football tapes. And
I have to review them.
She said she was a school teacher, and she said, Allie, she said, I'm your friend. She said, but I'm looking at you today, and she said, I don't know who you are.
Came here 9 years ago.
I don't know who you are.
She came here about the time Herkenroder came here. So Herkenroder only been here 9 years.
Well, I mean, how old is the girl?
You're talking about that lady. when she left the meeting, she told me she had told Hurricane Road,
She
I don't
told
even
her.
know
I
who
don't
you
know you.
are.
Now I wanna talk about this. I haven't heard you say anything publicly about it. This is the story that the administration is trying to bury. Did you know that you can? I did. First of all, I didn't know that you can FOIA calls from the jail. Like you can get the log of who the inmates been calling and stuff if you FOIA that information. What you think about that whole Johnny Cole situation?
Well, I always thought he was a peculiar type of guy. Whether it's true or false, I had heard that he had been to the penitentiary or
It's true.
prison
It's
or
an
something
article.
about, not informing sexual partners about
He was Johnny
HIV.
Peters at that time.
And then while I was in Philadelphia and New Jersey meeting with a group of lawyers and stuff, the same ones who were here at the meeting, some of them, I heard that Sheriff Swanson had did a press conference.
Yes, he did.
And that this guy had been charged
Mhm.
with 12 counts or so of sexual misconduct regarding young boys.
Yeah. Now
And
that
so
hurt.
that's all I know. But I knew he had been around Neely and them
You
because
seen
he
him
was
down there
on
at
my
City Hall?
polls.
Did
He
you see
was
him
on
down
my
there?
polls when Neely was campaigning.
Yeah, he was walking around like he with them hydraulic switches in his ass, like he was gonna do something.
$20 that Neely would beat Weaver.
Mhm.
Neely won. I paid him the 20.
He took it.
Yeah, I bet him. I give him the 20. And I seen him in the last few council meetings leading up to this arrest. He's told me he was one person's son.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was that lady's son.
He's not Claudia Perkins that's on the school board, son.
But that's what he told me.
Then he said
I
it was
seen him once at the
that's my
McCree
grandmama.
Theater. Yeah, that's why I say people have to be very careful when they hang with folks and folks throw your name around and so forth and so on. Some of the stuff folk don't have control over.
Right.
But some folks know in some cases what's going on.
I hang with good people. Shout out to the red snapper, Christine Brown.
So we'll see how that all turns out.
Right. And
I can't say no more than what I know. And I don't know a lot about it, but I'm sure I'm going to say show.
No,
you don't need me trying to talk proper.
I'm going to show.
know I'm hearing a lot about it.
Well, I just know that phone that Sheriff Swanson has a lot of valuable information in it with them texts.
Oh, they got his phone?
Yeah, Swanson got his phone.
You gonna see calls. I predict the Neely.
We see Neely coming out the city jail that day.
They were hanging. Now, I don't think Neely messing with little boys.
No, I don't.
All I know
I don't know what nobody doing behind closed doors but me.
And what's what? I know what I'm doing behind closed doors. I'm reading a book. I'm looking at TV.
He telling you read the book. Listen, Mayss, I'm upset because y'all spending all of that money redoing council chambers, and now your mayor just put out a interview yesterday. He want to move, or he want a new city hall.
Yeah, let me put it this way. When that council voted to spend money to redo council chambers, I had been put out the meeting wrongfully.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of action that I ain't been able to vote or even speak on because I've been putting out meetings repeatedly and wrongfully. Even the one we was at with the resolution dealing with the ARPA funds that I've been involved in, I got put out prematurely and wrongfully. I think this is by design. My lawyers think that the people I represent is being disenfranchised.
Yes, they are. It's
These folks have developed a pattern to just rule me out of order wrongfully and put me out of a meeting.
That's the first order of business to put you out.
The discussion of the business, and that's very problematic, and we fixing to pick up the pace on it, whether it's the National Action Network, the lawyers, the public, or whatever. That's a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big issue when it comes to allocating money policy. So I know that they voted to redo the council chambers when I had been wrongfully put out. I can't tell you all the details. I'll peek my head in there to see what it looked like. If you notice, they're doing the bricks downtown.
Yeah, they doing them bricks.
As I fight for Morris Peterson, Mo Pete,
right.
to
Fight
get
for him.
money
Yeah.
for his downtown building.
They say he's
you
a millionaire.
got these
So is the rest
handkerchief
of them.
head
Right.
Negroes
Right.
and
Tell 'em,
these
Mayss.
white folks
Tell 'em.
allocating and spending millions of dollars on themselves and others, and it's like pulling hen's teeth to get them to allocate money to some of us.
Absolutely.
And until in our communities. And so people should be outraged. But most people is polite. They won't call out their name. Most people talk polite. The council needs to work together. Most people don't know for sure if what I'm saying is true or what they're saying is true. Some people do, but is it enough to affect change in a timely manner? You and I would both have to admit, because we've been fooled by politicians.
Absolutely.
You was fooled by Neely. I was fooled by Pfeiffer and Priestley and them. I was fooled by a bunch of more folks. Want me to name them?
Yeah, let's go ahead, because, I ain't scared.
I helped 112 Davis. I was fooled by him. I helped Maurice Davis.
Oh,
I was fooled
the
by
king
him.
of party blues.
I helped Monica Galloway. In some instances, I was fooled. Certain folks can fool you and get in position and turn differently against you.
Because they're not used to it.
So, I could name more.
Right.
But I'm just giving an example, and I'm trying to be fair, naming both blacks and whites. But when it comes to the allocation of money and resources, you need 5 solid people on that council. I can assure you recall language is fixing to be filed.
Yes.
And I would caution.
Number 2.
I hope a whole lot of people don't sign up and we can pick 3 or 4 good solid people on them ballots to get this city on the right track. All I can do is pray on it. I ain't in control.
What's that meeting for
That's
tomorrow? With that,
control.
God is in control. That's who in
correct.
control.
That's what I.
Now, what's that
gonna say.
community budget meeting with tomorrow? About tomorrow that they having? You don't know?
I'm not familiar with it. Is it a council budget meeting?
What? Mayss, you ain't get the notification.
Normally,
I know Tanya gets mad when she find out the meetings from me.
Normally, our staff will call us. I'll have to call.
Thursday the 25th at 5:30. They have
where it's being held at the Dome.
No, at the front of the court building, Genesee County, the
Genesee.
County Administration Building.
Public notice, community budget hearing, Thursday, May the 25th at 5:30.
And while he's looking at that,
I know what that is. That's the hearing that's mandated by the charter where the public get to say something about the budget. But that's important because the people can tell them how much they want in the police department budget, what they want money spent for. To be honest with you, the ARPA funds fall in that budget.
What my mama tell you right there.
Tell Mayss to do old school on the council's butt and play their game. Just say a little enough to confuse them. I have people who tell me to be quiet, don't say nothing, just say a little of that. If I'd played that game, I believe I wouldn't be in office for 10 years. I've been in office for 10 years speaking up, communicating with people, and I'm gonna continue to do it. I can't play a game.
What is it, Charades?
I thought that was Stephanie. I can't see.
Can you tell Mr. Mayss we support him from NYC and let us know what we can do to support him?
Yeah, the only game I can play is to get them out of there if they're acting a fool and they ain't acting right. I can't try to conform to wrongdoing.
Yeah.
I can't play that game with wrongdoers.
Yep.
I would be selling out myself and the people I represent. I understand the proposed strategy,
right?
But they not gonna do right.
They just ain't gonna do it, Mom.
They ain't gonna do right, Miss Marshall. I'm here to tell you. In a way, I've tried that in the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months. But some people, like you hear me repeat, they like my grandmama say, she used to tell us, y'all don't believe fat meat is grease.
Right.
And then they'd say a hard head
make a soft ass.
Yeah, rump.
Mama tell me.
And so I'm just at that point, Ms. Marshall. I done tried different strategies with them. They'll stab you, Ms. Marshall, in the back, the neck, the side
to side.
And if you say or do something wrong, in their mind, they'll throw you out of meeting, Ms. Marshall. So I get a whole lot of people trying to give me strategies and ways to act. I'm a nice person.
You are.
But I ain't gonna be nice all the way with folks who treat me bad and wrong. And I don't think the people I represent want me to do that.
No, I don't.
I've seen 3 groups of council people, and right now, I think they losing. We win, and we'll continue to win.
Absolutely.
That's what the New York Post asked me. What's your end game? I say to serve the people.
That's it. Get us some water. Let's use this platform for all these thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that are going to watch this show. It's been 9 years and the water in Flint, Michigan is still not fixed. For anybody that's watching, New York, wherever.
Well, we ain't pulling water out the Flint River no more. We back to
them dirty pipes.
Water. The pipes that were changed at residential areas going from the street to the house, that's only one set of pipes. You had damage to pipes that's inside folks' houses that probably need some type of remediation. You got schools, commercial buildings, and churches that had no remediation, not even from the church to the sidewalk or from the commercial building to the sidewalk and so forth and so on. So there has
started back up. Yeah.
There has been a camouflage game. The federal court put an August 23 deadline on Mr. Neely
to try
to finish up. If Mr. Neely and certain members of the previous council had stayed out of the way, we would have that stuff done. When he set wrongfully W.T. Stevenson down, when Kate Fields and others on the council set AECOM down, under the Weaver administration, we was ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
When folks start setting folks down wrongfully and politically.
And it's not just word of mouth. I seen the paperwork. They were ahead.
Senator Sheree Burgess, they say, can you tell Mr. Mayss, let us know, please, how they can help.
All the way from New York.
New York and what's his name? Byron H. Can you ask Mr. Mayss what his favorite NFL football team? And that's what he is.
Well, we gonna say that people have been helping from New York to California, Tennessee.
Australia.
In the first 30 days, people put money in my GoFundMe account. I was able to pay lawyers and do some certain stuff that's helped. Those $20, $50, $100.
Give them your cash app again, because they from New York want to know.
Yeah, my GoFundMe account, all I can do, because I've never been social media literate.
Okay, they said they have some money to GoFundMe.
Yeah, it says Eric Mayss asks for your continued blessings, and it's a picture of me and some kids.
Right. on your Facebook page, your original Facebook page.
Well, I know it's a GoFundMe account.
It's the link to get
and
there.
it's it's a link out there, but I know when you see the right one, it'll be Eric Mayss, ask for your continued blessings, and it'll be a picture with me standing with some kids.
Yeah.
And so it should, when you look at it now, it should show about 23,000 with a goal of 40,000 because we reached our $20,000 goal and I reset it to 40,000.
That's good.
And so that's the GoFundMe account. As far as that New York Post article, keep an eye out for it coming up maybe this Tuesday, and let's see how it communicates, and we can accurately deal with that. I believe that the encouraging phone calls that I've been getting, my phone been ringing.
Your phone
since
always
I
rings.
sat
And
here.
you got 2 of them
I
now.
average about 15 to 20 calls a day from all across the country. In June, I'll be speaking at the National Organization of Black County Elected Officials on June the 22nd. They flying me to Miami. I'll be on a 3-person panel with them 2 young guys who they tried to throw out in Tennessee.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it'll be me.
Oh, is that going to be live? Did you want to fly me and Mickey with you so we can cover it?
Hey, and look, they say Kamala Harris, the vice president, will be there, Warnock and them. So this is a big thing I'm looking forward to in Miami. They want me in Little Rock, Arkansas for Juneteenth. Des Moines, Iowa for Juneteenth.
You gonna go to Arkansas for Juneteenth? You usually be here with us, waving.
I know it, but they paying me honorarium.
Get that money.
Stuff. 5,000 for Miami, 25,000 Little Rock and Des Moines in that 8-day swing. 12 or 14,000.
Mama, next time I'm gonna have you come on here and ask him the questions. Mama said she didn't text me to read her other comment.
What? Pay attention to Mama.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. What happened to the water that used to be given out weekly? No water passed out this year.
Back when we did that under the Weaver administration, if I'm not mistaken, that distribution was costing 10, 20,000 or so a month. And it was funded by the state of Michigan.
Right.
Once the state of Michigan dropped that funding, the city of Flint, we didn't have that type of money. And so some of the water distribution has dried up. A lot of people.
But you gave all that money to Ashbury and what's that out there? Greater Holy Temple.
A lot of money during that water crisis. The council didn't give out. It didn't even come, some of it, directly to City Hall, but it was dispersed in a variety of places. Through the United Way, we gave some money, if I'm not mistaken, from the ARPA funds for water distribution. How much and how long it lasts, if I'm not mistaken, you hear me say that to qualify. It was supposed to last up until June of this year. Did it last? Did they do it? I would have to check and see. But if that's what Ms. Marshall was asking.
Yeah, she used to go around to Bethel. She wanted her water back.
We did give some money for that. Did they do what was asked? I don't know.
No. Well, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on to the Wyntis Hall Show. Thank you for supporting always the A10 News Media Group and our platform when nobody else will. We know we can call you and you show up. And I will close out. And before I hand the mic over to Councilman Eric Mayss for the last words, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. Shouts out to the greatest producer in the world, Mickey Jordan. Also, I want you to stay tuned tomorrow for the mid-season finale of the Wyntis Hall Show. Because guess what? Girl is tired. I'm going on vacation. So tomorrow I will have on Shantae Smith from Unleashed. He has a great clothing line. You got to go out there and buy some of his clothes in the Valley. Get you some of them Unleashed t-shirts, get you together when you go out of town and stuff, and some nice sweatsuits. So he'll be on here. We'll be talking about his start and everything that he's been through to get where he's at. And then I'm going to be taping some shows for you while I'm gone. I'm going to have Gina Luster on. You know her?
Yeah, I know Gina.
I'm going to have Gina Luster on. I'm going to have Sister Audrey Muhammad on. You know her too?
No,
okay, so I'm going to have them two bad ladies on with me tomorrow. That'll play for you next week. And then the week after that, you're going to see me in the woods. We're going to be hunting Sasquatch. I'm going to be on the hunt for Bigfoot.
I know somebody remind me of Sasquatch and Bigfoot.
Me too. Me too. And I ran from that ass the other day because she's too big and I got a bad knee. And I can't be fighting out there. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the original version of the Wyntis Hall Show. Next week, we will have a pre-recorded version with Sister Audrey Muhammad and Gina Luster. And the week after that, I'm going to have a special guest on by the name of Zachary King. And we will be on the hunt for Sasquatch. Mr. Mayss, take us out tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping that people can get some out of, these communication and podcasts. We don't always have the coverage that we want on M Live, Channel 12. Flint Beat don't do too bad sometimes, but we have to use our own media groups.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
That's what's frustrating them now. Whatever has happened, the Lord is in control.
Yes, he is.
He's helped me to go viral.
Yes.
On this TikTok. And it's causing some people fits.
Yes,
and
big
so
fits. Whole bunch of
geriatric
fits.
Continue to use our social media platforms, share them, communicate, try to get what you can out of them. And if you don't understand, I always tell people, I said it on the Ricky Smiley show, I'll say it here too. You can always call me. My number is 810. We on the 810 Media Group, 810-922-4860. I ain't always in the same mood when you call, but I try to answer my phone and return calls.
Don't call them too early.
God bless you, and God bless the residents of the city of Flint. Listen to me. I ain't going to steer you wrong. I'm trying to help us get what we deserve. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman Mayss, and thank you all for tuning in. Thank you.